A very good evening to you. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to Sports Tonight. This is the midweek edition of the show. Promises to be exciting. We have a whole lot of interesting issues to talk to you about on the program tonight, but we are happy to have you join us. And I want to leave you with a promise that if you stay with us all through the show will be coming to you for about 50 minutes plus. We will make it worth your while. We will make it very interesting. We will make it very exciting, explosive, as always, so that you can enjoy every bit of it. Let me also tell you that it's a night of big football night in Europe. Some games have been concluded, not in the Champions League, in the Europa League. Manchester United have qualified for the round of 16. They won away from home against Saint-Etienne 1-0 today, and that has sent them into the last 16. So, United fans, congratulations. The good run under Jose Mourinho continues, and as we speak, games are also going on in the UEFA Champions League. So tonight we'll be giving you the best up to until you get over 4 years. So sometimes you do all that you can to be able to get that lump sum.
I'm for a very sound, qualitative
World Cup. Yeah. So the message for Africa will be: get your best 10 that will go there. And not go and disgrace Africa, that will go there and make it count. But let's quickly take you back very quickly to the UEFA Champions League, because there's been a change in that game at Sevilla. Sevilla are now 1-0 up over Leicester City. After 25 minutes, it's Pablo Sarabia with a goal. But before Sevilla scored that goal, they had lost a penalty. Joaquim Correa had lost a penalty, so ideally it could have been worse for Leicester City. But at the moment, as it stands at the moment, is Sevilla 1, Leicester City 0. All right, so there's a lot of work for Leicester, which is the team that has a lot of huge interest for us. Ndidi, Wilfred, and of course Ahmed Musa are there. The other game, Porto Juventus, still goalless after 25 minutes. And I told you earlier on, Fenerbahce have crashed out of the Europa League. They drew 1-1 at home to FC Krasnodar, and they lost. Saint-Etienne lost 0-1 to Manchester United, and of course Schalke and PAOK Saloniki played out a 1-1 draw. So you can see on your screen, Krasnodar qualifying 2-1 on aggregate, United qualifying with a massive 4-0 aggregate scoreline, and of course PAOK Saloniki, in spite of the fact that they played a draw, they lost the first leg at home and they crashed out 4-1. Schalke going through to the round of 16. Guys, it's time for us to pause for our first break on the show tonight. When we return from this break, we'll be spending a lot of time to talk domestic football. There's a lot of issues to talk about around domestic football in Nigeria. We had 4 rescheduled games played today. We'll talk about them, and then we will also talk about the issue of Rangers. Rangers played a game a few hours ago against Lobi. They're traveling down to Lagos tomorrow. They have a game to play in Lagos on Friday night. Friday night football is back in the NPFL, but do we celebrate it at the detriment of the players? We'll look at all of these issues and more on Sports Tonight when we return. Join us again. All right, some highlights for you from the Nigeria Professional Football League. You saw that game between Remo Stars and Lobi Stars. One of the games played over the weekend ended 1-1. All right, Remo will really need to look at the goalkeeper and tell him to brace up if they want to remain in the top flight next season. Guys, let's take a look at the results of rescheduled games played today. We had 4 of those games played today. Onye, I'm sure, and Joe, you'll be able to run us through the results of those games. Rangers needed a late winner from Bobby Clement to beat Lobi Stars 2-1 at the Cathedral in Enugu. Rivers United were held by Pillars 1-1 in Port Harcourt. So you can see that our CAF Champions League campaigners are struggling on the domestic scene. Katsina United 1-0 over FC Fayyon, but the mistake of the 3SC game will not repeat itself. They picked up 3 points, has taken that one, and then Shooting Stars tasted defeat in Bauchi. They lost 1-0 to the unsettled Wiki Tourists, who are still smarting from their disappointing ouster in the CAF Confederations Cup.
Yeah, Rangers Lobby, always a difficult contest to win. For me, I think because the distance is short, Lobby Stars coming from Makurdi 3 hours or 4 hours by road, so they look fresh. Last season it was a 1-1 draw. It has always been like that almost every season, so it didn't come to me as a surprise. But fortunately for Rangers, they got the 3 points. Bobby Clement scoring almost with the last kick of the game, and Imama can fancy, his chances, in the next game against Rivers United. Pillars, Tony. I think Pillars desperately needed the points, and Rivers United gave everything they've got. The CAF Champions League could be, energy sapping. It could also sap you mentally. So when you are playing against a team that is coming from on the continent, then you can fancy your chances, and that's what Pillars did.
Earlier today, the Rivers State government donated cars, buses.
Yeah, it was actually yesterday.
Happened yesterday.
Yeah, it happened yesterday.
Buses, cars, to boost the morale of Rivers United. Of course, they didn't replicate that gesture by picking out 3 points today, but they will fancy their chances going forward because they're looking good on the continent, and they have a formidable squad that should be able to challenge for the title this season.
Definitely. I mean, 1-1 draw, Kano Pillars getting their first goal on the road is massive. One would have thought that they would have followed it up, having won 4-0, but it's different. I mean, these games are different at times. If I don't know, it will take them time. They are still trying to...
They are also smarting from...
they're smarting from
the disappointment of crashing out in Egypt.
1-0 defeat. It's okay. Well, I just hope they will pick up with time. Rivers United, quite disappointing. Rangers, they've been quite dismal. When I saw the result, I was quite happy that they won 2-1. Because I was just checking the league table before we got on. Anyway, actually, the last
they were 20th on the log, but this victory has moved them to 16th now. Remo are now the bottom team in the log.
Exactly. Remo is still doing promo. They are still doing promo. But I'm happy that Rangers is picking up. I'm happy that they are picking up because they're on the continent. They are representing the country, so they need to be playing well. They need to be performing. Because I mean, they next play Club Africain, Zamalek. So although it's going to be an away match first before coming home, but it's good that they are coming up. It's good.
These are very interesting times for Nigerian campaigners. We only have 2 of them left on the continent, and that's Rangers and Rivers United. And usually the distraction of continental football affects these teams. Yeah. This is the time for them to begin to pick up those points if they don't want to struggle at the end of the day. Yeah. Because that's the trend that we see. Unfortunately, it's not supposed to be so, because you have the best team, you have the best players, are supposed to be right there at the very top, but the distractions of continental football sometimes weigh these teams down and they find themselves struggling.
No, I think it's not an excuse, Tony. When you play on the continent, you must prepare, you must have a big squad. You must realize that after the continent you play locally, and you must arrange yourself properly. So for me, it's not an excuse. That's why you've signed some players.